I forgot to tell my family I installed security cameras. When I checked what my sister and her husband were doing in my house, I froze. "You have 1 week to fix everything," I said. They laughed at me, so I called the police. My name's Mina, I'm 36 years old, and I work as a financial director at one of those big industrial companies downtown. 4 years ago, I finally had enough saved up for a down payment on a house. Nothing fancy, just a 3-bedroom place in a quiet neighborhood. Still paying off that mortgage, but it's mine. My parents, Linda and Robert, retired about 2 years ago. Dad worked construction his whole life. Mom was a nurse. Their pensions aren't great, so I help out. Well, helped out, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Then there's my sister, Emma, 7 years younger than me, which makes her 29. Got married last year to this guy named Tyler. Real charmer, that one. You'll see what I mean. I've been Emma's personal bank since I got my first real job after college. She was still in high school then, always needing money for something. New clothes, concert tickets, whatever teenagers want. I didn't mind. Big sister duty, right? But the thing is, she never stopped asking. Even after she graduated, got her own job at some marketing firm. The requests just got bigger. "Mina, I need a new haircut from that expensive salon." "Mina, my friends, and I want to try that new restaurant." "Mina, Tyler, and I can't quite make rent this month." My typical month looked like this. Pay my mortgage, pay my parents' utilities, send them grocery money, pay Emma and Tyler's rent, and then whatever random request Emma came up with. I was basically supporting 4 adults plus myself. But here's the thing, I could afford it. The job paid well. I didn't have kids, didn't date much. What else was I going to spend it on? Then, about 3 months ago, our neighborhood started having problems. Break-ins, thefts, the whole deal. I called Safeguard Security, the company my coworker recommended. The guy who came out was super thorough. "Do you want just the basics or the full package?" He asked. "What's the full package?" "Cameras around the whole perimeter, motion sensors, cameras inside the main areas, everything uploads to cloud storage. You can watch it live from your phone." "Let's do it," I said. Better safe than sorry. They installed everything the next week. 8 cameras inside and outside. The app on my phone showed me every angle of my house. Pretty cool. Actually, I could check if I'd left the garage door open or see when packages got delivered. I didn't mention it to my family, not for any particular reason, just didn't come up. They didn't visit that often anyway. And when they did, who sat around talking about security cameras? About 2 weeks after the installation, I came home from work on a Tuesday. Something fell off the second I walked in. Nothing obvious, just that feeling like someone had been there. You know what I mean? Like the air was different or something. My coffee mug wasn't where I'd left it on the counter. The throw pillows on the couch looked like they'd been moved. Little things that made me pause. You're being paranoid, I told myself. Too many true crime podcasts. But the feeling stuck with me. I even walked through the house twice, checking windows, making sure the back door was locked. Everything seemed fine. I made dinner, watched some Netflix, and went to bed. A few days passed. Normal stuff. Work was busy with quarter-end reports, so I was staying late most nights, coming home exhausted. The weird feeling from that Tuesday faded. Then came the corporate party incident. 3 weeks after that weird Tuesday, our company was having this fancy dinner thing, black tie optional. I remembered this gorgeous silver handbag I bought about a year ago. Spent way too much on it. One of those designer things, but I'd seen it in the store window and just had to have it. I only used it once, at my cousin's wedding. I went to my closet where I kept my good bags on the top shelf. It wasn't there. Okay, maybe I moved it, I thought. I pulled everything out of that closet, checked the guest room closet, the hall closet, under my bed, the garage where I had some boxers of old stuff. Nothing. I was going crazy looking for this thing. It was a Friday night. The party was Saturday. I called Emma. "Hey, did I ever lend you my silver clutch? The Prada one." "What? No? Why would you even ask that?" She sounded offended. "I can't find it anywhere. Thought maybe I'd let you borrow it and forget." "Mina, if you'd lent me a Prada bag, I'd definitely remember, and I'd have returned it. I'm not irresponsible." Okay, sorry. I must have put it somewhere weird. "Maybe you threw it out by accident," she suggested. "You did that big declutter last year, remember?" Maybe she was right. I had done a massive cleanup, donated a bunch of stuff, maybe the bag got mixed in somehow. I ended up buying a different bag for the party, but it bugged me. That silver clutch had cost me $800. Life went on. Another few weeks passed. Work got busier as we headed into the final quarter. I was practically living at the office, leaving at 8 or 9 most nights. Weekends were for catching up on laundry and sleep. Then came the watch incident. My grandparents, Mom's parents, had given me this watch for my college graduation. It wasn't super expensive, like a Rolex or anything, but it was nice Swiss-made classic design. More importantly, it was from them, and they'd both passed away a few years ago. I kept it in my home office, in the desk drawer, in its original box. I didn't wear it often, but I liked knowing it was there. I was doing a deep clean one Saturday. You know, the kind where you actually move furniture and vacuum behind things. I was organizing my desk drawers when I opened the one with the watch box. The box was there. The watch wasn't. I stood there staring at the empty box like an idiot. Like if I looked long enough, the watch would materialize. I tore that office apart, moved the desk completely, checked every drawer 3 times, and looked in every room of the house. That watch was gone. I made myself a cup of coffee and sat down to think. Really think. First, the feeling that someone had been in my house. Then the missing handbag. Now, the missing watch. Once as an accident, twice as a coincidence, 3 times as a pattern. Someone was taking my things. But how? The house was always locked. I had an alarm system. The only people with keys were my parents. They had a spare set. I'd given it to them when I bought the house 4 years ago. For emergencies, I'd said, no way. My family wouldn't steal from me, would they? Then I remembered the cameras. I opened my laptop and logged into the Safeguard app. All the footage was stored in the cloud for 90 days. I started scrolling back through the dates, looking for anything suspicious. 3 days ago, when I was at work, the motion sensor triggered the front door camera at 2:47 p.m. I clicked on the footage. 2 people walked up to my front door. They used a key to open it. They walked in like they owned the place. I zoomed in on their faces, even though I already knew who it was. Emma and Tyler. I sat there staring at my laptop screen, watching my sister and her husband walk through my house like they belonged there. My hands were shaking. The timestamp said 2:47 p.m. on a Wednesday. I was at work in a budget meeting. They knew I'd be at work. Of course, they knew. I watched Emma go straight to my bedroom while Tyler wandered into the living room. She was going through my closet, pulling things out, examining them. She held up a sweater, showed it to Tyler when he came in. They were talking, laughing. In my bedroom, going through my things, laughing. She put the sweater in a bag she brought. Then she went to my jewelry box on the dresser. I watched her pick through it, selecting pieces, showing them to Tyler like they were shopping at a store. I felt sick. I scrolled back further. 2 weeks earlier, another visit. This time they spent longer, maybe 40 minutes. Emma went through my home office while Tyler checked out the garage. I watched her open the desk drawer, take out the watch box, look at the watch. She called Tyler over. He examined it, nodded, and she put it in her purse. I kept scrolling. Another visit 3 weeks before that. The day I'd felt like someone had been in my house. They'd been here for over an hour at that time. Emma went through my bathroom cabinets, my kitchen drawers, even my laundry room. She took a perfume bottle, some makeup, and a pair of running shoes I barely wore. The handbag. I found that footage, too, 6 weeks ago. Emma tried it on, posing with it, in my mirror while Tyler gave her a thumbs up. Then into their bag it went. How long has this been going on? I checked the earliest footage available. They've been coming here since the week after I'd installed the cameras. Maybe longer, but I'd never know about anything before the cameras. I made a spreadsheet. Yeah, I know. Finance director, gonna finance? But I needed to document everything. Date, time, items taken. By the time I finished, I had 12 separate incidents documented. Jewelry, clothes, electronics, even some of my good wine from the rack in the kitchen. The total value, at least $10,000, maybe more. I called Emma. Hey, can you and Tyler come over for dinner tomorrow night? I want to catch up. They showed up right on time. Tyler carrying a chocolate cake from the grocery store. Emma hugged me like nothing was wrong. We sat down to eat. I'd made pasta. Nothing fancy. I watched them closely. Were they checking out my stuff even now? Emma's eyes did linger on my new laptop bag by the door. Halfway through dinner, I couldn't take it anymore. Some of my things have gone missing, I said, watching their faces. Emma paused with her fork halfway to her mouth. Tyler took a sudden interest in his wine glass. Missing, Emma said after a beat. What kind of things? My silver handbag, grandmother's watch, some other stuff. Oh, Mina, Emma said, relaxing visibly. You're always misplacing things. Remember when you thought you'd lost your car keys and they were in the refrigerator? That was one time, and I was 22. Still, you work so much, you're probably just tired and putting things in weird places. I slammed my fist on the table. They both jumped. I know it was you, I said. I know you've been coming here and taking my things. Emma's face went red. What? That's crazy. How dare you accuse us of stealing? Tyler laughed. Actually laughed. You got any proof of that? Because that's a pretty serious accusation to make without proof. The smugness in his voice made me want to throw my wine in his face. I want everything back, I said. Everything you took, or I'm calling the police. Emma and Tyler looked at each other, then burst out laughing. You're going to call the police on your own sister, Emma said. Please, you won't do that. Besides, Tyler added, so what if we took a few things? You can afford it. You should have offered us more money anyway. You know, we're struggling. I got laid off 2 months ago. You got laid off 2 months ago and didn't tell me. Why would we? Emma said. So you could lecture us about responsibility. You managed fine by stealing from me. Oh please. It's not stealing. We're family. What's yours is mine, right? That's what family does. Get out of my house, I said quietly. They left. Still laughing. Tyler calling back that I needed to chill out and stop being so dramatic. The second they were gone, I called my mother. Mom, Emma and Tyler have been stealing from me. They've been coming into my house when I'm at work and taking my things. What? Mina, that's ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. It's true. And if they don't return everything or pay me back, I'm going to the police. There was silence on the other end. Then Mom's voice, cold and hard. You will not involve the police in family business. Your sister makes less money than you. You buy all these expensive things, flaunting them. Can you blame her for being tempted? Are you seriously defending theft right now? It's not theft. You're being dramatic. And if you go to the police, your father and I will cut you off completely. No contact. Is that what you want? She hung up on me. I sat there in shock. My mother had just threatened to disown me for wanting to report a crime. I spent the next hour editing the security footage into a single video showing every incident. Emma and Tyler entering my house, taking things, leaving with bags full of my belongings. Crystal clear evidence. I sent it to Emma, Tyler, and my parents with a message. Return everything or pay me $10,000 for what you stole. You have 1 week or I go to the police. My phone immediately exploded with calls and texts. I didn't answer any of them. Emma's texts were the worst. You filmed me without permission. That's illegal. I'll sue you. Moms were all about family loyalty and how I was betraying them. Dad texted once. Very disappointed in you. The locksmith came at 8 the next morning. 3 hours and $600 later. Every lock was changed. I didn't make spare keys for anyone this time. The texts kept coming all week. Emma switched between anger and manipulation. How could you do this to your family? Then, I'm your baby sister. Doesn't that mean anything? Then back to, you're a pathetic witch who films people illegally. Mom's messages were worse. You're tearing this family apart. Your father can't sleep because of your selfishness. We didn't raise you to be this cruel. Wednesday, I got a call from Aunt Patricia, Mom's sister. Mina, your mother tells me you're having some kind of breakdown, threatening Emma with the police. What's going on? Emma stole from me, Aunt Pat. I have it on video. That's ridiculous. Emma wouldn't steal. You must be mistaken. I hung up. No point arguing with someone who'd already made up their mind. Thursday came and went. Nothing from Emma or my parents except more nasty messages. Mom had now added that I was mentally unstable and needed professional help. Friday morning, day 7. No money, no returned items. Just a text from Emma. You're bluffing. You'd never actually call the police on your family. I drove to the police station on my lunch break. The officer at the desk, a younger guy named Officer Martinez, took my statement. I showed him the edited video on my phone. This is pretty clear evidence, he said. Do you know the current location of the stolen items? Probably at their apartment or my parents' house. We'll send officers to talk to them. If the items are recovered, you'll need to identify them. If not, this becomes a more complex theft case. I gave him Emma and Tyler's address, then went back to work. At 6 o'clock that evening, I was making dinner when someone started pounding on my door. Mina, open this door right now. My father's voice, angrier than I'd ever heard it. Mina, please. Mom was crying. They arrested Emma and Tyler. How could you? I didn't open the door, just stood on the other side. They're thieves, I said through the door. Thieves get arrested. She's your sister, Mom wailed, and that should have meant something to her when she was robbing me. This is cruel. You're cruel, Dad shouted. If you want them out, return my money. $10,000 for what they stole. That's extortion, Dad yelled. No, it's restitution. Your choice. They kept yelling for another 10 minutes before finally leaving. 2 hours later, my phone buzzed. A transfer notification, $10,000 from my parents' account to mine. Saturday morning, I went back to the police station and withdrew my complaint. Charges dropped. Officer Martinez said, they'll be released shortly. I went home and did something I'd been thinking about all week. I canceled everything. The automatic transfers for my parents' bills, the monthly grocery money, Emma and Tyler's rent payment. Then I blocked everyone. Phone, email, social media, everything. Complete radio silence. 2 weeks later, Aunt Patricia called from a different number. Mina, I owe you an apology. Emma and Tyler moved in with your parents. They couldn't afford rent anymore. Your mom finally told me the whole story and showed me the video you sent. I can't believe they actually did that. Yeah, well, there's more. My daughter Rachel just remembered that her gold bracelet went missing after Emma visited her last year. And your Uncle Tom thinks some tools disappeared from his garage after Tyler helped him with a project. So I'm not the only one. No. And now nobody wants them at their houses. Your parents are pretty isolated right now. They're defending Emma, so the family is keeping their distance. Wow, your mom asks about you. She says Emma's been looking for work, but can't find anything. They're all struggling without your help. That's not my problem anymore. I understand. I just thought you should know. After she hung up, I sat back and thought about everything. Did I feel guilty? Maybe a little, but mostly I felt free. For years, I'd been bankrolling for adults who were perfectly capable of taking care of themselves. I'd enabled them to be irresponsible, and they'd gotten so comfortable with it that they felt entitled to just take what they wanted. The theft wasn't really about the money or the things. It was about respect. They didn't respect me, my property, or my generosity. They saw me as a resource to exploit, not a person to appreciate. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. Mina Mom's voice, using someone else's phone. I hung up immediately. She didn't get it. None of them did. This wasn't about money, or things, or even the theft itself. It was about finally understanding that the family I'd been ending myself to support saw me as nothing more than a wallet with legs. Well, this wallet was closed permanently. 3 months have passed since I cut them off. 3 peaceful, drama-free months. At first, I kept expecting to cave. Every time I'd see a family at a restaurant or hear a coworker talk about their parents, I'd feel this pang of guilt. Was I being too harsh? Should I reach out? Then I'd remember Emma laughing in my face while sitting at my dinner table, eating food I'd cooked after stealing from me for months. I'd remember Tyler's smug voice saying I should have given them more money. I'd remember Mom defending theft because Emma earned less than me. The guilt would disappear pretty quick after that. Aunt Patricia became my only connection to what was happening with them. She'd call every few weeks with updates I hadn't asked for but couldn't help listening to. Emma got a job at a call center. She told me last week. Part-time, minimum wage. Tyler's still unemployed. They're all crammed in your parents' house. And it's causing friction. Good for them. I said, meaning it. Maybe they'd finally learn what it meant to work for what they wanted. Your mom's working part-time now, too. Grocery store cashier. Your dad's picking up handyman jobs where he can. That one hurt a little. They were in their 70s. But then I remembered they'd chosen this. They'd chosen Emma's theft over my trust. They'd paid $10,000 to keep her out of jail instead of making her face consequences. Mina, Patricia said carefully, I know it's not my business, but don't you think it's been long enough? They're struggling. Pat, I supported them for years. And what did I get? Robbed. And then told I was crazy for being upset about it. She sighed. I understand what they did was wrong, but their family, so was I didn't stop them. 2 weeks ago, I got a letter. Actual mail, since I blocked all electronic communication. Emma's handwriting. Mina, I'm sorry. I know what we did was wrong. Tyler convinced me you had so much that you wouldn't notice. I was jealous of your nice things and your beautiful house. But that's no excuse. I'm working now, trying to pay Mom and Dad back for the money they sent you. It'll take me years, but I'm trying. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know, I'm sorry, Emma. I read it 3 times. Part of me wanted to believe it. The other part noticed she blamed Tyler, said she was jealous, made excuses even while apologizing. And nowhere did she offer to actually make things right with me directly. I threw the letter away. Yesterday, something interesting happened. I was at work when security called up. Miss Mina, there's Linda here to see you. Says she's your mother. My stomach clenched. Tell her I'm not available. She says she'll wait. Tell her she can wait all day. I won't see her. An hour later, security called again. She's still here. She asked me to tell you she has something for you. I almost caved. Almost. I don't care. If she's not gone in 10 minutes, call the police for trespassing. She left. Last night, I found a box on my doorstep. No note, but I recognized Mom's careful packing. Inside were some of my things. The silver handbag, grandmother's watch, a few pieces of jewelry, maybe a quarter of what was stolen. It was something, I guess, but it wasn't enough. Not nearly enough. The thing is, I don't want this stuff back. I mean, I do, especially the watch. But that's not really what this is about anymore. I want acknowledgement. Real acknowledgement, not, we're sorry you're upset. Or, we're sorry, but you have more than us. Or, we're sorry, but family should share. I want, we're sorry we betrayed your trust, stole from you, called you crazy, threatened to disown you, and chose theft over honesty. But I know I'll never get that. They're not capable of it. In their minds, they're still the victims. I'm the daughter and sister with the good job, who selfishly cut them off over a misunderstanding. My therapist says I'm doing well. Yeah, I started therapy. Figured I should talk to someone about why I'd let myself be used for so long. You were the parentified child, she explained. Always responsible. Always taking care of everyone else. It became your identity. And Emma was the baby. Exactly. And that dynamic never changed, even when you both became adults. So what now? I'd asked her. Now you learn to have boundaries. You learn that love doesn't mean letting people hurt you. You learn that you're worth more than what you can provide. It's been hard. There are days when I want to call them, especially Mom. Days when I remember teaching Emma to ride a bike or Dad helping me with math homework. Good memories that make me question everything. But then, I remember that they made their choice. When forced to choose between their daughters, they chose the thief. When forced to choose between accountability and enabling, they chose enabling. When forced to choose between honesty and delusion, they chose delusion. I made my choice I chose myself. For the first time in my life, I chose myself. My house is quiet now. No unexpected visits. No drama. No one going through my things. I changed my emergency contact at work to Jessica. I'm dating someone new. A guy named Marcus who pays for his own dinners and has never once asked me for money. You don't talk about your family much, he said on our last date. There's not much to say. We're estranged now. It's just life. And that's the truth. This is my life now. I work, I see friends, I date, I go to therapy. I live in my house that no one else has keys to. It's quieter than before, but it's also more honest. Do I regret going to the police? No, that was the wake-up call everyone needed. Do I regret cutting them off? Sometimes, late at night when I'm feeling lonely, but then morning comes, and I remember that being alone is better than being used. Aunt Patricia told me Mom's been telling everyone I'll come around eventually, that I'll forgive and forget like I always do. She's wrong. The old Mina would have, the one who paid everyone's bills and ignored being taken advantage of. But that Mina is gone. She had to be. She was destroying herself, trying to support people who saw her as nothing more than a bank account. This Mina, the one who stands up for herself, who demands respect, who refuses to be stolen from. This Mina is here to stay. I don't need their apologies anymore. I don't need their acknowledgement. I don't need anything from them at all. For the first time in my life, I'm free and I'm never going back.